Democrats proving themselves incompetent once again as Amazon pulls out of New York City. According to the New York Times, Amazon on Thursday canceled its plans to build an expensive corporate campus in New York City after facing an unexpectedly fierce backlash from lawmakers, progressive activists, and union leaders who contended that a tech giant did not deserve $3 billion in government incentives. The vast majority of those incentives, by the way, were tax breaks. Now, I've said before, I don't believe in giveaways to specific companies. I think that's cronyistic. I think that if you want to have a good working environment, you want to bring business into your state or city, lower the tax rate for everyone. Don't give special giveaways to certain sized companies or to certain big companies that you want to bring into town. With that said, was New York going to lose money by giving tax breaks? No, they were not going to lose money by giving tax breaks. They were going to gain money by bringing a giant business into Queens that was going to bring some 25,000 jobs with it. Nonetheless, people on the left do not understand basic economics, and so they were very pleased with their own genius here. It's pretty hilarious. Amazon was getting mostly tax breaks to come to New York City. There were certain cash grants that they were getting because they qualified under already applicable law in New York for these cash grants, which they shouldn't have these cash grant programs. But leftists were very angry because they don't like Amazon. The reason they don't like Amazon is because Amazon is big and Amazon is successful and Amazon provides jobs. Now, who doesn't actually like Amazon? The answer in New York City is pretty much no one. By polling data, the vast majority of people in New York City were very much in favor of Amazon moving into the city. That includes some 80% of Hispanics, 71% of blacks, and 52% of white people. In fact, it was only white people who were even mildly divided on the issue. It was not minorities. Minorities were like, hey man, jobs. Right? I mean, why not? It was mostly white people who are too prissy to have Amazon move in. You know, the hipsters, like, oh no, Walmart's coming to town. The mom and pop stores are going to go out of business. As opposed to everyone else who's like, great, Walmart's coming to town. Jobs. Cheap stuff. Unbelievable. So AOC, who, believe it or not, has an economics either major or minor, still unclear on this, from Boston University, which means that Boston University should be shut down until we know what the hell is going on. AOC explained her excitement at thrusting out a company from her district that would bring some 25,000 jobs to her district. She's a genius. I'm telling you, she's a genius. So much freshness, so much faceness. It's really incredible. Here she is spouting utter nonsense that emerges from that fresh face. Here we go.
I think it's incredible. I mean, it shows that everyday Americans still have the power to organize and fight for their communities, and they can have more say in this country than the richest man in the world. We could invest those $3 billion in our district ourselves if we wanted to. We could hire out more teachers. We can fix our subways. We can put a lot of people to work for that money if we wanted to. There was no guarantee that those jobs were for the New Yorkers that were here. I think that we can absolutely come together to create an economic plan that actually invests in New Yorkers.
There are a few problems with what she is saying. Problem number one, I love when she says, we could take those $3 billion and we could spend them here. No, you can't. No, you can't. Let me explain. Here's how a tax incentive works. I come to your town and you say, instead of charging me a 30% tax, you will charge me a 20% tax. I then bring my company and I pay a 20% tax on my income. The city is richer, for I am now paying a tax. If I were not in the city, the tax would not be paid. If you instead say, listen, I'm going to raise that tax back up to 30%, and I say, okay, fine, I'm out. You don't then get to claim that 10% tax difference is money that is in your pocket. I'm not there to pay the tax. What the hell are you talking about? This is so, I mean, it's not just economically illiterate. It is mathematically and logically illiterate. It doesn't make any sense at all. It is the equivalent of me walking into a pizza store with a coupon that says $5 off, and I show it to the guy at the counter, and it was a $20 pizza, and now it's a $15 pizza, and I give him the coupon, and he says, you know what? We don't accept that coupon anymore. I say, you know what? I'm out. And I walk out, I go across the street, I buy a pizza there. And then the guy turns to his manager and he says, I just made us $20. No, you didn't. I didn't give you any money. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Even Andrew Cuomo, who is just a dummy, even he was like, what are you guys doing? Are you guys crazy? Are you crazy? I just say this stuff for a laugh and you guys say it for real. The hell's wrong with you? He issued a statement saying Amazon chose to come to New York because we are the capital of the world and the best place to do business. However, a small group of politicians put their own narrow political interests above their community. Why don't you name names, Governor? Go for it. Let's hear it. Who are these people who would put their own political interests above the needs of their community? Bill de Blasio, who's a commie, he then blamed Amazon for pulling out of the deal. which was hilarious. So he originally was like a big fan of the deal, and then he's like, no. The deal's bad. You know why? Because Amazon, if Amazon really cared about New York, they'd pay whatever tax we laid on them. The New York Times has a piece today from some moronic columnist suggesting that New York just won a victory over Amazon. See, when you offer incentives to a giant company to come to your city and provide jobs, and then you throw them out, that's not actually a victory. You're no better off than when you started. But the beautiful thing about being on the left is that nothing you ever say has to make any sense. It's like, truly, this makes no sense. Like, from any perspective, it doesn't make any sense. But that's okay, because being on the left means pandering to the worst instincts and dumbest people among us, apparently. Or at least the dumbest ideas among us.